I would like to share the tips and techniques of writing a good essay. The information that I am going to share will be beneficial in your journey to strive for A in the upcoming UPSR exam. First, let's look at the content mapping of today's session. By the end of this session, I hope all students will be able to understand the main elements of a good essay. Secondly, we are going to briefly revise the concept of constructing simple, compound, and complex sentences. Lastly, we are going to study the process of writing a good essay. Alright everyone, in order for you to score decent marks for section C, you need to understand the elements of a good essay. There are 5 compulsory elements in a good essay. It can be easily remembered with the acronym SERPED. Yes, SERPED. S for sentences, E for elaboration, P for paragraph, I for ideas, and T for tata bahasa. Alright everyone, for sentences, students need to make sure their sentences are clear and accurate. At the same time, they need to use variety of sentence structures to convey their ideas. E stands for elaboration. It means addition of points. Apart from the given points given in the questions, students must be able to add more creative ideas to the whole story. And next, paragraph. Students must be able to organize their thoughts at least in 3 paragraphs. This is because a good story must have a beginning, a middle part, and of course, the ending. My next point is related to the second element. Elaboration and creativity, yes, they are all very important in a good story. However, bear in mind that your creativity, your added points, they have to be relevant and logical to the story. And students, lastly, pay attention to your grammar or tata bahasa. In writing, you must pay attention closely to your tenses, to your spelling, and of course, to your punctuation. Remember, any mistakes when it comes to grammatical error, marks will be deducted. Before we look into the process of writing, let's do a quick revision on sentence structures. Alright students, there are 3 types of sentence structures that you have learned from year 4 to year 6. The first one, simple sentence. Next, compound sentence. And the third one is complex sentence. If you are aiming for passing marks, constructing simple sentences will be more than enough. However, you need to use variety of sentence structures to convey your message in order to get decent marks in UPSR. Let's do a quick revision on how to construct the simple sentence. The first question that you need to understand, what is a simple sentence? Well, a simple sentence is a sentence that has a subject and a predicate. Too tough to remember? Have you heard of the formula SVO? Yes, it is. A simple sentence consists of a sentence that has a subject, a verb, and object. Let's focus on the picture, for example. Can you see a boy on his bike? What can you say about the boy? What would be his action? Well, I'm thinking about cycling. So let's assume the boy had cycled in the past. So I'm going to use past continuous tense. Was cycling. So that will be the verb. So let's add a subject. So who was cycling? So I can see in the picture, it's a boy. So I'm going to name this boy Aiman. So now I have a subject and a verb. Aiman was cycling. Well, why don't we add something else to make the sentence to be better? So maybe an object. So where did he cycle to? So, to his uncle's house maybe. So now let's read the whole sentence again. Aiman was cycling to his uncle's house. So there you go, guys. The SVO. Remember the formula. That is the very basic way to construct a simple sentence. Alright guys, now let's upgrade ourselves and do a quick revision on compound sentence. Just now, we have learned how to construct simple sentence by using the formula SVO. So what if you have two SVOs and the sentences are related to one another and you want to combine them? Yes. The answer is compound sentence. Compound sentence is actually a combination of two or more simple sentences. And to combine these sentences, you need to use the fanboys conjunction. In English, it is known as coordinating conjunctions. Alright, take the picture as example. Just now, we have constructed our first sentence about the boy. Remember Aiman? Yes, Aiman was cycling to his uncle's house. Now, let's add more points to this picture. My second sentence would be, he noticed a small crowd at the junction. Did you know that you can combine these sentences with a joint word known as conjunction? For example, Aiman was cycling to his uncle's house, and he noticed a small crowd at the junction. Can you see that? So you have two SVOs combined as one. And in this example, we are using the conjunction and from the group fanboys. Fanboys. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. So remember the formula. Finally, the complex sentence. Despite its name, it is not difficult to construct complex sentence once you know the method. So what is a complex sentence? Many students, they have this misunderstanding. Complex sentences are sentences that are very lengthy and have too many points. Well, to be honest, complex sentence is quite easy to construct. The definition of complex sentence would be a combination of two sentences. A combination of dependent sentence or clause and independent sentence or independent clause. What is dependent clause? Dependent clause is actually a sentence that could not stand on its own. It needs another sentence to make the whole thought to be complete. On the other hand, independent clause. Independent clause means a sentence that could stand on its own. So meaning that it does not need any sentence to support the whole thought. Let's look at the example. Yes, the same picture. Let's say I have two sentences in my mind. The first one, since Aiman was curious, next, he stopped to have a look at the situation. Alright guys, if you notice, the first sentence, since Aiman was curious, something is not right about the sentence. It needs something else. It needs a supporting sentence to make the idea to be complete. Well, this is known as dependent clause or dependent sentence. On the other hand, sentence number 2, he stopped to have a look at the situation. The sentence could stand on its own. What if we combine these two sentences using a conjunction? Here we go. This is my example. Since Aiman was curious, he stopped to have a look at the situation. Have a look at the formula. I started with a conjunction, since, and then I combined the first sentence, and then with another one. So, if you are using this formula and the conjunction from the group aubis, you are able to construct a good complex sentence. Yes, remember that guys. A complex sentence can be constructed using the aubis conjunction. Aubis stands for as, after, although, when, while, until, before, because, if, and since. Now you have all the skills and knowledge to write a good essay. I believe this is the time for us to understand the process and the technique of answering Session C, the English writing paper. Alright kids, the first step of any writing process is to understand the task. So the first thing that you need to do the moment you get the question paper would be to read the given instruction. So let's have a look at the examples in the slide. Let's read the instruction. Continue the story based on the given picture. You may use the words given to help you. Write your story in between 80 and 100 words. Pay attention to the keywords. Pay attention to the keynotes, the important points. The first one, continue the story. So for this question, if you look closely at the bottom part of the picture, you could notice the questions has given you the opening sentence. So you have to continue the story from that particular point. Next, you may use the words given. So in any scenario that you do not understand the meaning of the certain words, you are obliged not to use the words. And then, the third key points will be the word limit. In the instruction, it is clearly stated that you have to write in between 80 to 100 words. So what will happen if you write more than 100? Yes, sadly to say, your marks will be deducted. So, if you don't read the instruction, you might miss out these key important points. Next step is to study the stimulus. What does it mean by study the stimulus? Meaning that you have to study the information given. Look at the picture. Look at the words given. And when you're doing all those things, make sure you are able to imagine the storyline. So what if you are not able to understand the story? Good news, for Section C UPSR, they will be giving you two sets of questions. Question 1 or Question 2. So if you think any of the questions will be too difficult for you, choose the one that you feel that you can talk more. Remember, it's all about telling a story. Number 2, never use the words or information that you do not understand. Let me repeat, don't use words or information that you do not understand. Remember, you still have to write a story based on the picture. That will be the main objective. And my third point, when you are studying the stimulus, don't forget to be creative. Start thinking of your own points to make the story to be better. The next step is to plan and draft. This is the most important steps in any writing process. Remember kids, if you fail to plan, it means you plan to fail. There are many ways to plan, but the most common ones will be the SVO table. You use the SVO table to construct simple sentences to outline your story. Let's have a look at my draft, based on the question just now. I have constructed 13 simple sentences using the SVO table. Let's look at the first one. Lynn studied very hard. She wanted to make her parents proud. She paid attention in the classroom. Her family could not afford tuition classes for her. She set up her own study group. She made discussions with her group at the library after school. She was determined to be the best student in UPSR. Her dream came true. She passed with flying colors in her examination. She went up to the stage to receive an award. The headmaster gave her a surprise. She was awarded a scholarship to a prestigious boarding school. Her parents were proud of her achievement. Alright students, pay attention to sentences number 4, number 5, number 7, number 11, and of course number 12. Those sentences are added points which are not in the questions. They are added to make the story to be more interesting. Alright, the next step is to enhance your sentences. From the draft that we have constructed just now, try to combine related sentences to form compound and complex sentences. In this case, we are going to combine these sentences using either fanboys conjunction or the AUBIS. If you still remember, fanboys conjunctions are used to construct compound sentences. Meanwhile, the AUBIS conjunctions are used to construct complex sentences. Well, let's have a look at my draft. Let's see how I enhance my sentences. If you look closely, sentence number 1 and sentence number 2 can be combined with the conjunction as. For example, therefore, Lynn studied very hard as she wanted to make her parents proud. Sentence number 3, we do not have to combine them, so it is remain a simple sentence. Yes, good thinking. Sentence number 4 and 5 can actually be combined. Why don't we try to use since? Well, my idea would be something like this. Since her family could not afford tuition classes, she set up her own study group. Sentence number 6, we remain it as simple sentence. She made discussions with a group at the library after school. Same goes to sentence number 7. She was determined to be the best student in UPSR. So we remain sentence 7 as simple sentence. Sentence 8 and 9, we can actually combine these two sentences using a conjunction. Yes, you read my mind. We can combine these two sentences using the conjunction when. Her dream came true when she passed with flying colors in UPSR. Did you see that? Flying colors is actually an idiomatic expression. It's a merit point over there. Then, sentence 10 and sentence 11 again can be combined using the conjunction as. As she went up to the stage to receive an award, the headmaster gave her a surprise. And lastly, the last two sentences, sentence 12 and sentence 13, can actually be combined with the conjunction. Yes, you got it. And she was awarded a scholarship to a prestigious boarding school, and her parents were proud of her achievement. Alright, kids. Did you notice that when we combine sentence 1 and sentence 2 using the conjunction as, we actually constructed complex sentence? Same goes to sentence number 4 and sentence number 5. It is actually a complex sentence too. Exactly, you read my mind. Sentence 8 and sentence 9, when we combine them using the conjunction when, it becomes a complex sentence. Same goes to sentence 10 and 11, it's a complex sentence after we have combined them together. And lastly, sentence 12 and 13, when we combine them using and, it is actually a compound sentence. Well, with variety of sentence structures are placed in this essay, we can finally write the essay. And this will be our essay. Let's read the essay. Therefore, Lynn studied very hard as she wanted to make her parents proud. She paid attention in the classroom. Since her family could not afford tuition classes, she set up her own study group. She made discussions with her group at the library after school. She was determined to be the best student in UPSR. Her dream came true when she passed with flying colors in UPSR. As she went up to the stage to receive an award, the headmaster gave her a surprise. She was awarded a scholarship to a prestigious boarding school, and her parents were proud of her achievement. Well, students, this essay is not written more than 100 words. And with all the items in the checklist are met, this piece of essay would definitely be given decent marks. The ideas are conveyed in variety of ways. They are simple, compound, and complex sentence structures. And then, there is also a usage of idiomatic expression. In order for you to get good grades in the whole UPSR English writing paper, you need to remember the checklist of a good essay. You need to do well in the section C. because section C is the most important section in your 014 paper. 25 marks. 25 marks. Let me remind you that. Meaning that 50% of the whole percentage for your UPSR 014 paper, it comes from section C itself. That's why you need to remember the checklist of a good essay, the process, and most importantly, you need to practice. And finally, you will get what you want. So let's do a quick recap on the checklist. So a good essay must have clear, accurate, and variety of sentence structures. Number 2, you need to elaborate your points. Number 3, your essay needs to be organized in paragraphs, at least 3. Your ideas have to be creative and at the same time relevant to the storyline. And do not forget to check your grammar or your tata bahasa in Bahasa Melayu for that matter. Your tenses must be consistent to the story. The usage of spelling and punctuation must be perfect. Okay? That's all for now. I really hope my presentation is helpful. All the best till we meet again, and bye.